Welcome to the Instant Ink Comic Book Podcast. Today we have a different type of guest. We have an artist, so we're going to have kind of a dual drawing session here between Roberto and James here. And we'll be doing the usual thing. So we have our prompt, and then we'll make a one-page comic together. We don't know what we're going to do right now. We're going to find out real quick. So to introduce myself, I'm Adriano. You can find me at Pesto Comics on everything online and pestocomics.com. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Roberto. Roberto, please introduce yourself.
Yes, today two co-hosts.
Two co-hosts, that's right.
Yeah.
Three.
That's right.
Three hosts.
Three hosts. Yes. I'm Roberto Viacava. I'm an artist. I'm the creator of Voyager and founder of Green Iceberg Press, and you can find me on robertoviacavaillustration.com, and you can go to different social media.
Right on. Today a father with his hands full as well, I can see. But right on. Glad to have the extra help. And James, thank you for joining very much. A fellow Torontonian. Great to have you on.
Yeah, we're both from Etobicoke too. Different.
Yeah, that's right. We're very close to each other. But yeah, let the people know.
He's on the nice end of Etobicoke.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I didn't want to say it, but I'll allow it. Yeah.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. Everybody
That's
knows
right.
Etobicoke.
That's right. Well, let us know who you are, what you're up to, where we can find you.
I am James Edward Clark. I'm an artist. I write stuff too sometimes. I have about 3 books out right now. I got Pissah, Apocalypse, Evil Comics, which is printed, and Tales to Enlighten, which I did with Matt King a few years back. And you can get Pissah, Apocalypse, and Evil Comics through me. Just message me, and we'll hook you up. And to get Tales to Enlighten, you need to go to Matt King's Etsy account, King Mega Trip on Etsy, and you can pick up a copy of that too. So.
And yeah, if anybody follows you on Instagram, they know you're very active, very easy to reach. So yeah, shouldn't be.
Yeah, just DM me on Instagram.
Right
I always
on.
got the app open. Or email me, jamesedwardclark@gmail.com. If I'm at my desk working, I'll see it, which I usually am. Except for today, I'm visiting family, so my aunt was nice enough to let me use her office to do this interview in. So it's a little nicer than my usual.
Not a bad backdrop, all things considered.
No, it's actually quite nice. Lighting.
Yeah, it's better than what I usually have going on. We tend to hide the.
Yeah, bunch of basement.
That's right. That's
dwellers
right.
Here.
Not getting much sunlight on the show, but yeah.
No, me neither.
Today's a good exception.
Yeah,
nice,
today I got out of it.
All right. So let's get started. So what we'll do is I'm going to share my screen, and we'll look at some prompts. And what I'll do is ignore the first set. The first set is just what was available when I launched the site. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this generate button. I'll read them out, and then if there's any repeats, I'll give you the option to say, I don't like the ones that are here. Let's do a new one. But let's see if anything repeats before I say that. We do have one repeat, but I'll read these out. So, the dictionary. Open up a dictionary to a random page and point to a word. Write a paragraph with that word as the main theme. We'd have to find a dictionary for that to happen. We have fireflies. Write about a secluded stream with lots of wildlife. Coming Dread is the one we've done recently, so we're going to skip that one.
That was the episode.
That's awesome. All right. So, you're well aware that one's been done. What else we got? Good vibes.
Yeah.
What's a situation where the character is getting great vibes? And memory lane. A character looks back on the things they've done. So, are any of these, excluding that one we've done, standing out to you?
No. But I don't really have any idea.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So. Yeah. I'm pretty open. Good Vibe sounds kind of boring. You want some drama,
right? There's no
excitement.
Conflict in that title, so.
Yeah. The dictionary one is compelling. I don't know. What if I type in random word generator?
Let's go for it. Yeah,
word.
I'm open to that.
Word generator. There you go. Random word generator. One word type create. Okay, here. Um, Stop. Rescue. Okay, rescue.
That's got some
That's a good one.
drama
Rescue
to it. All
somebody.
right, let's go with that. So we're gonna use.
Yeah.
Technically, it's the dictionary, but the prompt of the prompt is rescue. Okay, easy peasy.
Yes. They told us.
We are following
we're
the
following
rules.
the
Yeah,
rules.
we keep things pretty loose here. The idea is just to give us an idea to go with, but I'll take it. That's a pretty good one. Okay, so rescue. So Roberto, when you get a chance, if you don't mind sharing your screen, I know your hands are full, so happy to remind you.
Does your young one have a favorite character? Maybe we'll do a prompt. Maybe we'll do something with them. They have a favorite show?
Yeah, he's muted.
muted? Of course.
Yes, the problem is if I share the screen, I can no longer control the mic. So
You gotta pick
it's
one.
open.
Oh, you're asking, does your child have a favorite character or something?
Yeah, he likes Bluey. Do you know that show?
No, I can look him
Bluey's
up.
super
Bluey?
popular.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bluey.
it's really good.
Bluey.
We all love Bluey.
Little dog?
Yes.
I gotta learn how to draw Bluey off the fly. We could do Bluey. It's a little cartoon
Oh,
character. Let me go.
We can do whatever you want.
Well, we got an audience here.
We've got to entertain the audience.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna be here all the episode, but
You may not see the final
We'll
product
see.
until the morning
Right,
hours.
right.
But
Yeah.
I like the challenge.
They're already
Yeah,
past
that's
the
right.
bedtime. So.
All right.
so on the left is the app that we can draw together, and on the right and on the left I have the Clip Studio where I do the final
Right on.
page.
Oh, okay. I'm just in this one here. Now I can't see myself. This is a brand new program. Excuse me.
We're throwing some
Let's see
challenges your way right off
If I
the
can
bat.
change the brush. I figure out this brush here. I want something small. Pencil.
Wanna draw Bluey?
Yeah, we could try it. I got him on these things. Little dog guy. Yeah, good pose.
Man, I'm jealous.
Simple.
Something like that.
Oh, there you are. I'm used to just Photoshop, but I draw position, and then I scan it. Like this is you've drawn Bluey before, haven't you? Like this sort of stuff I do. Here's a hippopotamus.
Wow.
This is how my stuff usually looks. There's a baby
Nice.
hippopotamus. The Moodang.
Man, we should draw something like that, not Bluey.
Oh, we could do
Yeah.
that too. Rescue. Well, I actually am doing a book. I'm drawing hippopotamus. I'm doing a book with Fred Kennedy. If you know, I think he's at Edge One, or he was at Edge 102.1.
Yep.
Now he's at Q107. Kind of a radio personality. We're doing a book together. Doing it through Mad
Oh,
Cave
nice.
Studios.
But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's actually I haven't really talked about it much publicly. I don't think I signed any
NDA or anything like that?
NDAs. I don't remember if I did, but probably not.
If you did, let me know after.
but yeah.
We'll cut this part out.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, basically, kind of a book about it's kind of a crime action comedy
Right on.
involving hippopotamuses that take over a amusement park and terrorize the patrons.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I know Fred worked on the Dead Romans, right? That was his last big book with Image.
Yes, Dead Romans is his book from Image. He's done a few books over the
Right
years.
on.
I think Dead Romans is his first one from out of Image, sort of kind of made it out into the stands and
Yeah.
everything. But he's had a few books.
Yeah, I know. That's.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
we've been kind of going back and forth. He's been wanting me to draw stuff for him for a while now. We go back and forth every so often.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we're 2 issues into it right now. We're kind of just starting the second issue.
Amazing. Well, I know Mad Cave usually they stick to 5, right? Are you guys under the same? Yeah.
5 issues. Yeah, we're gonna do. It's gonna be 4 issues long. It's kind of slow going. It's been kind of stop and go for a while now, but kind of making progress on it now. It worked out because I needed time to work on fixing up Evil for print and all that.
Mm-hmm. I saw that did really well. So congratulations on a good campaign there.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we just funded 18,500 Canadian, which is less impressive than American money, but
yeah, cut 30%. Yeah.
Yeah, just shave 30% off. But sounds impressive when you say in Canadian.
For sure. You go with the big number every time, right?
It gets the job done. You know, we did Pissah did 17 and a half.
Yeah.
So a bit of improvement.
Yeah,
that's what you want to see. You want to see as long as the numbers going up, getting some positives.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like you want it to always be an improvement on the last. I mean, you hope it'd be of a multiple, but you know, any kind. I mean, if you're hitting 18,000, that's nothing to sneeze at anyway.
Yeah, I'll get the job done.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'll have enough to get comfortably out to everybody and print it.
Yeah, for sure.
We're pre-recording this. Like right now, the proof copy just arrived in my house, which I am not at right now. So I'm kind of anxious to get my hands on that. But once I check it out, it should be another 2 weeks to print the book, and then it's out to everybody. So by the time you're watching this, it'll probably be available. If you're curious about it, you can check me out. This is a terrible drawing of Bluey.
That's a blind attempt, I guess. You've never drawn them before.
Yeah, with a program I've never used. This is our warm up.
That's right. Yeah, we still don't know exactly what we're doing. We're just doodling.
Something about rescue.
We're doodling. And we're getting getting used to the talking and drawing at the same time. So I'm not talking to myself.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this into frame so I can get all the options at the bottom. But,
nice.
Yeah. Okay. A pixel pencil. We do pixel pencil. How do I make this thinner? That's the problem. It's too thick. Pixels. Oh, there we go. 5. There you go.
Yeah, that'll look a lot more crisp.
Yeah. Now, how do I erase what I've done? Eraser? Is this erase? No, I need to make that bigger.
Alright, Roberto, I've unmuted you.
Yeah, he's getting bored, and I think he's gonna leave soon.
Okay. We're not entertaining him with our Bluey drawings.
Yeah.
He's not impressed. I don't blame him.
Not to your usual standard.
I can't read. No, it's the worst drawing I've ever done. Bluey.
But
I don't know. I've never even heard about Bluey until just now.
Do you have kids?
I'm just looking at him. No.
Oh. Well,
yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
It would be weird if you knew a lot about Bluey without kids, though. So you're good.
No.
Yeah, but even though I think it's a really good show. It's okay. It's for kids, but if you watch it with your kids, it's magic. It's for the whole family. It's poetry sometimes. It's something unique. And
yeah, usually kids shows they can be pretty hit or miss. Fairly Peppa Pig. You know, I did have I was close with my ex's nieces. They liked the little one. She liked Pingu for a while. And then she got into Topi and Bingu. Is that saying that right?
I'm not sure.
It was like a mouse and a cat.
Oh, okay.
No idea. I think it was done in like Montreal or something. She really liked that. Topi and Bingu.
All right.
Maybe it's already done now. She liked Elmo. They go through phases where they got their favorite character, right? as they get older.
Yeah, my.
I got her into Totoro. She was really into
Oh,
Totoro.
well done.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, me and my ex, we went to see it in the theater, and then we went to her place, or went over to her brother's place, and I watched them, her and her sister run around. They were about the same age as the girls from the movie, and they were acting just like them. How the little one would like run around behind her and copy everything she did, right? Just like in the
Of course,
movie.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, we should go show them Totoro, and they loved it.
Awesome. Yeah, you getting them some
Yeah.
culture, right? Instead of
You gotta give them the good
Yeah.
stuff. The good stuff.
Oh,
So you said you're not in your house, so you're drawing with the mouse?
No, this is the. I got my little Wacom
Oh,
tablet.
okay, okay.
Yeah. I did bring it with me to do some work. I got my MacBook and everything.
nice. And that's what you're normally drawing on?
No, I usually draw like this is what I color.
Okay.
with. And I kind of Frankenstein all my pages together in Photoshop.
Right on. Is that how you get that
Oh, so
style you got?
Mm-hmm.
You draw traditional.
Yeah. Done traditionally. Yeah, I don't really like the line quality you get with digital drawings. Usually, the lines all kind of look the same,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
and you don't get that sort of spontaneity and variety that you would naturally. This is slightly better. I think his body's too big. His body should be like
I think it's
that there.
really much better.
Much better than the first.
Third,
Yeah, my second
attempt
yeah.
for that's a marked improvement.
Oh, he's got darker patch here. Ugh. I'm gonna move this over. Make this darker because he's got like the darker up in here.
Nice. I gotta say, this has got to be the most different start to a show that we've ever had.
Yes.
Yeah, much more wholesome.
Yeah, usually we're brainstorming. It usually gets pretty dark at some point. Yeah, we usually don't.
Well, the one episode it was like coming dread. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it kind of asked
Right.
for it. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's not even a dark topic, and then the guests will just take it somewhere. It's always somebody dying.
Somewhere
Yeah,
dark.
somebody dying, some kind of ghost, some kind of whatever. So starting with Bluey is very refreshing. It's
Yes. Well, we got a young one with us, so I thought we should.
yes. Yeah, I know.
For the kids. For the kids.
I know most of your work usually isn't in that vein. So
No, my stuff, everything I've done so far is pretty adult.
Yep. Yeah.
Like I was showing off the cover there. I was trying to hide some parts of the cover that's a little from the
Yeah, I
kid.
think you gotta cover like a whole bottom half.
Yeah, the whole bottom part there. Yeah. I mean, you got the big scary yellow guy still.
Yeah, at least it's just it's like the Hulk. Don't worry about what happens inside the pages.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
yeah.
Yeah, like he was just kind of a guy. Started popping up. I think I had to draw Ren Xerox for like the background of Tales to Enlighten.
Okay.
You know the sort of, you know him. He's like a European heavy metal type character.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had in my mind, I'm like, oh, I know what Ren Xerox looks like. And I drew him out just freehand because I knew his face looked like he's got the hair and like he's got muscles and stuff. And then it was like, yeah, I drew him like 3 times bigger than he was. And I just had a lot of fun drawing a big, muscular yellow guy. I just kept drawing and kind of developing.
Nice.
He doesn't like my interview style. Wait, further.
I have to improve mine.
Oh, is that a good Bluey?
Bluey.
Is he Bluey? A good Bluey? 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 If I hang out with kids now, it's usually like my uncle's, my cousin's son, Joey. But he likes Spider-Man. Spider-Man's his
Nice.
favorite. Last time I saw him, I drew him as Spider-Man. I think I posted that somewhere, or maybe I just shared it in my stories.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. He liked that. Christmas, I got him. They had the big hardcover collection of like the first 24, 27 issues of Stan Lee, Steve Ditko Spider-Man issue, Amazing
That's awesome.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I got him after Christmas last year.
that's amazing.
I don't think he's read it because he has poor eyesight, but he refuses to wear his glasses because guys with glasses aren't very cool. So he got me.
Not like the
Got
three
me.
of us. I mean,
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
It'll eventually, it just, you surrender to it, right? It's just
yeah.
like, yeah, I need him.
Well, he'll learn eventually.
Yeah.
I told him, what's really cool, Joey? The ability to see clearly.
It's amazing we don't have to,
I don't think he
to
bothered.
squint and kind of,
Oh yeah, you can see everything
Right?
clearly. You won't walk in any walls or fall in an open manhole. I haven't happened to me
oh
once.
my goodness. Yeah, right? Like,
Right.
it's a small price to pay for your safety.
Yeah. For looking like a nerd.
You can get some non-nerdy glasses. I mean, I haven't found them myself, but I'm sure you can get some stylish ones if you do it right.
I always buy like the same frames because like I go to the eyeglass store, go get new ones. I go through all the walls, and I go through everything. It just doesn't look, doesn't really work with me. I think you gotta mute them or it's gonna be a lot gather. I'm getting an echo.
There you go. Let me mute him.
There you go.
Roberto, you're
Yeah,
muted. You were giving us an echo.
Yeah, I was getting a little distracted.
Yeah.
Everybody's a critic. He keeps like blowing raspberries at
Yeah.
everyone.
We'll just mute that.
That's mean. That's mean, young man.
Uh,
A very sensitive artist.
yeah.
Can we do layers? Is this possible to do layers?
Oh yeah, you got it.
Or is this a no layer? Is there a layer thing in there?
Yeah, it looks like on the bottom right.
Oh, yeah, I see. Duplicate layer? How do we do layer? Oh, I see. Okay. I just duplicated it. Oh, I can draw on this one. Do the colors.
Nice. I know that feeling because I just went this week to get my new glasses, and I tried on must have been like 20 different sets, and I'm just like, you know what, just give me the same ones.
Yeah, you just get this basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go on. I get the thick ones like you have, and it just doesn't work on
Yeah.
my face.
Yeah, I have the opposite. I get like it all like blends into my rosy cheeks, so I gotta have that clear line under it.
Yeah. Sorry, just trying to. I'm used to Photoshop, whole new program.
Oh yeah.
Here.
Yeah, and I'm sure it doesn't have
I
the same level of capability, right?
Yeah. And my pirated version of Photoshop.
Well,
Okay, that's how you make it bigger.
we'll bleep
Okay,
that.
I got you. He's a thief.
I mean, you gotta. They have student discounts and that, but even those, it's like if you're a student.
Well, I was trained on it. That's the thing. It's just and it's now they want. It's not even like a one-time payment. They want you
Every month, and it's
paying like $1,200 a
yeah,
year.
like it's
Ridiculous.
it's not like and it's not like you get hey, you just need Illustrator, okay, $20 a month. It's like no, it's 50 or 75 for the suite.
It's like 100.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
right. They really don't make it reasonable. So
No, it's insane.
so I went with Affinity, the Affinity suite. I use Designer for like lettering and stuff. There's a bit of a learning curve, just like if you're used to Illustrator. And then I tried Inkscape as well, but like open source is like a whole bunch of hoops you got to jump through just to get it to do the most basic of things. So Affinity.
These are like alternatives to.
To Illustrator in that. I'm not doing the drawing on my
You
end.
need like a vector.
It's right.
Yeah, like a vector program. Like I do my lettering in Photoshop.
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're comfortable with it and you can, work your way around it for sure. It's just as capable. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just on mine.
One falls off the back of a
Yeah,
truck.
that's
Yeah.
right. But yeah. So I went with Affinity though. You get the one-time lifetime license with all the upgrades included and
Oh
that.
yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Yeah,
That's
and it wasn't
cool.
even that
Yeah.
expensive, like relative. It was like a month of Adobe, and you get it lifetime. It's like, yeah, sure, why not? Um, you get the publisher app too, so you could put together your files in there. So it helps when I go to print,
Oh.
right?
Instead of having InDesign.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's their version of InDesign, so it helps put everything together.
Yeah, I'm just getting my. I'm just gonna throw. I just throw my buddy a couple bucks to put together and deal with deal with the printer
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, because I'm doing like literally everything else, so it's like
Very
oof.
reasonable. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. On my end, it's usually I'm getting the art done, so it's like, okay, well, I'll letter and put it all together because otherwise
Yeah, it's just it all adds up. Like
yeah, exactly, right?
you know, like 18,000 for a Kickstarter is not bad when you're doing it all yourself and you get to keep all the money
Yeah.
or whatever's left
Sure, yeah.
over.
After the printing and that, but yeah.
Yeah, the shipping is kind of what kills you. Well, you get the printing done, you think you're done, but then you got to
It's
do
one
the
more
shipping. The
cost,
shipping,
yeah.
yeah, it's just when I was doing, I was just do trips back and forth to the post office, like 30 packages, and just like watch hundreds and thousands of dollars just slip through my
Of
fingers every
course.
day.
Are you
Yeah,
using
yeah.
Stallion Express though? They're using
Hmm?
Stallion Express? If no,
Together across
yeah,
the
yeah.
border. Yeah, which Kip Ship or whatever
Chit
it's called. I
Chats?
gotta look into it. Chit Chats, yeah. Last time I actually, because these are
Mm-hmm.
small, right? Like the shipping was like initially it was like $11. I could send it
Yeah.
regular mail to send it to the States, and I was charging like 15
Mm-hmm.
shipping. But then they caught wise to me. I was sending out books and I started sending them back. I started to send them out small
Uh,
packages. Now I need the $15.
yeah. Yeah, you got to do it as a parcel. Otherwise, they nail you.
Yeah, yeah. Now they're like this is like a regular sized book. I'm going to have to get like the Gemini mailers or some equivalent to them. Probably not the Gemini mailer specifically, but there's a bunch of different ones where you can send
Yeah,
books in. And then
like these ones are alright. I just get them on Amazon. They're like XYZ pack or
yeah,
something, and they're rigid, so they don't bend.
it's a little. I need a thicker one. I need at least an inch or two because I gotta send copies of Pissah too with
That's
some of them
fair.
too. And like once they're all out, like I'll probably package them together. I'll have some deal for folks.
Yeah.
They can get both of them at once, and you'll send them all out in one packages. But yeah, they'll make it easy
No,
for you.
definitely not. Yeah, shipping's definitely it's a whole different business.
Oh, and they got all these. You go try to get something from the States. They got all these tariffs now on all your stuff and everything.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, so this'll this will be live once that's all totally settled, but it's still
Yeah, once you send it all
yeah, it's
out.
still pretty fresh. We'll see if there's going to be a whole bunch of tariffs day one or not or whatever, because that would kill us up here if everything we send is an extra 10%. Like we're already fighting the dollar, you know?
Oh yeah, we're already. Well, yeah, and our government's already trying to screw us over.
Yeah,
So
right.
you get tariffs.
Just getting nailed at every opportunity up here. So
I mean, probably you send it like regular mail as like a package, you'll be all right.
yeah,
If you declare it as like, oh, it's $10, whatever.
yeah, and that
I always just say like, because like this, technically, this cost me like 420 to print.
yeah, and that's usually what I'm doing is I'm putting
Yeah, yeah. There's no price tag on. How you know what
exactly.
they're selling it
It,
for? Right. They're gonna look it
yeah,
up.
that's usually how I'm declaring it as well. It's like I declare it based on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cost rather than the retail, because it's technically not
Hmm.
retail.
Oh, it's independent anyway. It's like how do you know I'm not sending it as
Well,
a
this
gift?
is it, mate. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, my bigger thing is like I don't know. Have you been doing any conventions or anything like that around here?
I need to. I'm very. I always procrastinate. I'm very disorganized. So I haven't had a chance to do any. I didn't do any last year, but I need to get my stuff together this
That's
year.
fair.
I need to, start once I get paid. Once I get the money for the campaign, I gotta start booking some tables.
Yeah, you'll have a couple new books to push, right? So it makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like one, if you're selling like probably have a deal like online, it's like 35 plus 15 shipping. But like if I hand sell it, I've been selling them for $30 each. But I'll probably have a deal where you can get both for like 25 each, so I get like 50. You get two
Yeah,
books. I'm thinking about doing that. That's a good way to do it, I
yeah, for
think.
sure. That's smart.
And that will, you sell 10 of that, you make
Yeah,
$500, right?
exactly.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, it's a smart way. I mean, and it's the whole thing of like, if you're seeing me in person, I'm always giving you a better deal than than online.
Oh yeah, it's not like I don't have to do the extra labor of like packing it, taking it to the post office and all that, and writing out people's addresses and all that.
Exactly.
Worried about it when I get
Right. I
there.
would say that a comparable is I usually try to bundle things. So, if you're gonna buy
Hmm.
everything from me on Kickstarter, like, yeah, I'm giving you the best deal I can, right? Um,
Oh yeah, no, like I'll do a sketch. I'll do I'll have zines. Like I put together like I had the new little book I did. It was like a lecture. I was trying to be coy about it, not mention like what it is because the new zine that I had for the Kickstarter, I had a adaptation of a Philip K. Dick
nice.
story, so I was a little worried about the
Sure,
rights to
sure.
it. So I was kind of being a little coy. I was just saying it's a new 22-page comic zine
Yeah,
by
yeah.
me, full color, sci-fi
Yeah.
type deal. But it's an adaptation of the Electric
Oh,
Ant
nice.
by Philip K.
Very nice.
Dick. Yeah, I just I had it playing in the background like an audio version of it one day. I was working. I had like a Mac episode where I just laid out the entire thing with all the words and all the panels, borders in one
Nice.
night without any. And all I had to do was draw the damn thing, and then it sat. I was busy with other stuff, and it sat there. And I was waiting so long to hear back about the book we're working on that I finished the edits to Evil that I had to do, and then I ended up doing all the art for the Electric Ant book that I had put together.
That's
So,
awesome.
and it worked out because it was a good sort of stretch goal I could push for. But that's a fun story. Like the guy wakes up after a car accident, and the doctors come and tell him that he's actually a robot, and he needs to get the hell out because hospitals for
Yeah.
humans, and they send him to a repair shop to fix his hand. And he's like the CEO of a big multinational conglomerate organization. Like the guy the guy who's like supposed to be his number two under him. He's actually the guy who runs the thing, and he's like the figurehead. He finds out he's got electric tape in his chest because it was written in 1969. That's how computers worked. And like I have it, it's like a tape deck because I hear electric tape. I think like cassette
Yeah,
tape, right? So it's kind of like a Teddy Ruxpin type deal.
yeah.
And he starts messing around with the tape because like he's not very happy about it. He wants to actually kill himself, but he probably can't kill himself because it's probably against his
Hmm.
programming. But maybe if he alters the tape, he can like alter his reality somehow because like his whole subjective reality is on the tape, and if he can alter the tape, he can alter his reality, which is basically the exact same thing. Because what's the difference at a certain point, right? And shenanigans ensue. But it's a really cool story, and I don't know, for whatever reason, it just kind of caught my fancy. I did the whole thing in like one go, and then drew the thing over like I think it's like 22 days to do 22 pages of art, which is pretty good for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And with all the lettering and everything. Yeah, yeah. So I banged that out, and it worked out. And yeah, people wore it. They'll get it soon, hopefully. And probably print some extras. And that'll be like an extra sort of incentive I can just throw into the packages people order for me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, it's inspired by the story, right? It's not.
No, it is like I literally copy pasted the story. Like it's a lot of dialogue. People are like, "Why didn't you just
I'm,
call it
I'm
something
trying to help
different?"
you out
Like
here.
it is literally the story. No, it's literally like it's like a lot of there is text,
Sure, sure.
and every word of it is from the story, like
That's
verbatim.
fair.
I did sort of alter the ending, like I kind of like punched up the ending where it's like because it opens with him in a car accident. I kind of try to have like the climax tie in with the beginning, so it's kind of like a loop and sort of like starts back at the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah. That's fair.
and make it sort of like a dramatic
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I get that. Well, I mean, it's a pretty
Yeah.
awesome throw in though, because like, yeah, like, what are you gonna? Where else are you gonna find something
No,
like
it's a
that?
really. I think it turned out really
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
and even just as an exercise, like, it's a story you're into, and
Yeah, it's just something I had some extra time. I wanted to do it, so
yeah,
put it
that's
together.
impressive, man.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
respect that.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about my books if I want. It's like I got Pissah Apocalypse here. This is like a pit. This is a post-apocalyptic book. Sort of this big yellow guy, and he's got the two female companions, and they go on a quest to track down and kill the four architects of the apocalypse, avenge mankind. And by the time they get there, there's sort of like an ironic twist on each of them.
Nice.
And it's been interesting hearing people. That was kind of like my lockdown book, and it was sort of like I was locked in a room with no one else around. It was just sort of no audience in mind. So it's just kind of a book I did for myself, keep me from going insane. But you read it and you think of it, you think I'm already insane. You read it, I think, well,
It's pretty wild. I'll say that much.
it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy, yeah. And it's sort of like I had no, like I said, it was just sort of like it was a lockdown book. Like, is there even going to be a comic industry by the time this whole thing's done? Does it even matter? Like, do I care? It's just, you know, kind of where my head at was at the time, not really caring about like what people thought of it. Which now it's like open for, it's out there for commercial consumption, so it's a little,
No hiding
a
now.
little,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And now I worry I might revealed a bit too much of myself to those parts. But who's to say?
Well,
But yeah. Hmm?
how's the follow up gonna
What are you saying?
end up?
Um, yeah, like at the end, I have a little sort of on the very last page. I have a tease here. If I do another one of these, it's going to be called Pissah Ascension, which I have the idea all worked out in my head. But at the same time, like where this book ends, it's a nice sort of complete unit. If I never do another one, like I don't think it will like really matter. I feel comfortable if I never do another one. It's just like throw it out there. Like I could do more, guys.
Yeah.
Like a few years go by, I do a few more books, and everyone's like, which one I really liked of yours? Piss and Apocalypse. You kind of peaked there. You never did anything better. Like, yeah, maybe I should go back to it for sure.
Back to the well.
But like right now I'm comfortable with where I left it. There will be a part two of Evil. Like I do, Evil actually does end on a cliffhanger. Spoilers. And that does. I do plan to get that done. Maybe after I finish this book with Fred.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So
And
I was to say I haven't read Evil yet, so yeah, didn't know that that one ends on a cliffhanger. But yeah, I was wondering because I did.
a hell of a cliffhanger. It's going to be
That's
exciting.
awesome. All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Evil is about a masked luchador wrestler named Sammy Destino, who goes on a quest to save his girlfriend, Maria, from the evil Space Thunder death cult who plan to sacrifice her to demons at midnight to open a portal to hell, bring forth demons on this earth, and all this sort of thing. So it's very wild, eccentric, sort of, in my. If you like Pissah, it's very much the same sort of flavor and sort of the same sort of level of sanity. It's actually probably more accessible than Pissah because it is a traditional hero going up against the villain and saving the day type of story.
Sure, sure.
Whereas Pissant, like, it's kind of a bit more ambiguous. Is the protagonist even a hero? Is he like good? And you have the villains. It gets very dark, and there's like genocide, and all this sexual stuff, and weird, BDSM undertones and stuff.
it's
And there's a bit of that in Evil too, but it's not quite to the same degree. Evil's there's been different versions of it I've been working on for about 10 years, and I've just now gone around to collecting the thing finally. What happened was I was working at a factory about 10 plus years ago, like in the early 2010s, mid 2010s. And it was just sort of like what I would do on my after work. I'd go home and start working on this book and try and finish it. And I managed to self-publish the first 3 issues, and then I was in the middle of the 4th one, and kind of my life fell apart, and I lost my job, and I was talking about my ex that fell apart, and then I just decided I was just going to focus on finishing the book instead of getting a new job. So I was just like, living off of not much savings, and just kind of squeaking by for a couple months. But as soon as I finished the book, people came out of the woodwork, started offering me to pay me to draw their books, and that's how I ended up doing Tales to Enlighten with Matt King. He gave me a page rate
Nice.
to illustrate Tales to Enlighten, which is about Sam, the grandson of Satan, and his best friend Manfred the Man Machine, who's kind of a reluctant killer robot. They go on an adventure quest through the multiverse to collect 666 heads of special individuals who are basically like parody superheroes in order to activate Sam's grandfather's misery machine, which he keeps in Sam's garage, which is guaranteed to print 2 tickets to enlightenment. But is enlightenment really all it's cracked up to be? It's been a while since I got it.
It's coming out just fine, yeah.
Yeah, and that was another crazy book. Like, if you read all 3 books, they're kind of like thematically, like in my mind, they're kind of like a thematic apocalypse trilogy almost. Like, evil is like the ritual to activate the apocalypse. Tales to Enlighten is the apocalypse, and Pissah and Apocalypse is the post-apocalypse sort of.
That makes sense.
And there's sort of, if you follow it through, kind of squint, you can kind of see the progression. Sort of like, people talk about John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy, sort of thematic.
Yeah, right on.
It's kind of my version of it. I kind of think of it that way. Be a good way to market the 3 books together too, I think.
Yeah, for sure. No, like I mentioned off the top, like you got a very unique style. Not just the art, but like everything, like storytelling and all that. So yeah.
Well, I didn't write Tales to Enlighten, but there was like a lot of back and forth and sort of like Matt. It was the first thing Matt had ever written, and I was sort of like helping him smooth out the edges and like make a lot of suggestions. And there's a lot of B in there. There's certain plot lines throughout that are kind of like stuff I suggested, and they played out basically how I pitched it to him. And everything kind of goes off the rails by the end, but what are you gonna
do? Fair enough.
I think it fits the spirit of the thing, sort of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So those are the 3 books I have out right now. We were talking. I have another book with Fred coming out short. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take. It's sort of been stop and go for a bit. But.
2 out of 4, so almost halfway.
Yeah, 2 out of 4. Well, I still not even halfway. I just started the second one. We're kind of I have it all thumbnailed out, but we're just starting the final artwork right now. Well, I am anyway. We're working with a colorist. Shout out to Becca. And yeah, so I got a publisher. I got somebody coloring my stuff for me, because coloring is always the most tedious part for me, because it's always like I use very like flat or kind of flat not flashy kind of colors.
Sure.
Very like utilitarian, very bright, sort of poppy, kind of comic book coloring. Sort of trying to imitate old
like 4-color style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And most of like my shading and everything's done in the line work in the inking. So I feel like if you do a lot of rendering and stuff with my drawings, it kind of clashes, doesn't look quite good. I've had people kind of come to me and like, oh, I took your art and I recolored it and drew it. Try to be nice.
Doesn't look
about
like
it,
yours
like,
anymore.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like when people try to render my stuff. Just keep it flat. I like the flats.
That's the intent behind it, right?
Yeah, and it's sort of. I never thought I was very good at Photoshop, so I kind of came up with sort of gimmicks to work around my inadequacies at it, which ends up becoming like my style too, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's how you find it, right? It's what you're capable of. And
yeah. And now it's like everyone talks about my colors and they're being unique and it's part of the package now, right?
They don't need to know that it was just you trying to make Photoshop work for you, right?
yeah. Because I didn't want to do, it takes forever for me because a lot of it's just like tracing out the shapes and plugging in the color, and that's the most tedious part to me. So I'm happy to pass it on to somebody else to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and if you're doing things like flatting and that, like it's so tedious, and so I totally get that.
My stuff basically is flats with a little few extra gimmicks and stuff attached to it. Make it look cool.
That's fair.
Okay, we'll do it here and we'll transport it over. Oh, you want to do one panel at a time? That's usually how I work anyway. Like I was showing you before, like all my stuff is like some weird Frankenstein. There's some Eve stuff from Evil right there.
Nice.
Yeah, I can give you some behind the scenes stuff here. There you go. That's Maria with the villain, one of the villains, Laughing Skullface Demon. He's got like the main goon of the Space Thunder Death Cult. And there's Sammy with
That's
Maria there.
awesome.
Yeah, so I work big, oversized, and it's just very impractical and time consuming, but it's just how I do it because I'm a crazy person.
Hey man, it works for you. Like it's very unique.
Works for me, yeah.
It really stands out,
I got anything else good?
right?
Hmm? Yeah. I'm trying to see what else. Anything. Here's some stuff from the Electric Ant here.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's the protagonist. You can see he's got the
Oh, it's
electric
like a literal tape deck, yeah. Like the right size and everything.
Yeah. Well, it's like in the story, you know, it's 1969, so computers, everything was on like tape, like electric tape, and it's sort of, you know, actually punches holes in it in the story. But like me being born in 1986, I hear, you know, electric tape. I think a cassette tape deck. I just like the visual of like a guy having a tape in his chest and he's sort of like pulling on it. It's sort of like, you know,
Yeah.
this is, you know, this is the essence of him on the tape, right? Sort of, you know, and it's, you know, like the mixed love tape and stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we were born in the
What's
same
your
year, so I'm familiar.
Oh yes, we're
Yes,
both
that's
old
right.
now.
what's,
Bunch of old
what's
guys.
your process creating the story? You just do ideas of panels and then you edit, or you write the script.
That's a good question. I mean, you know, like with Pissant, it started off as just I was going to do the one-off kind of zine. It was sort of like just I had this character I kept drawing over and over in my sketchbook, and like I started seeing like a little narrative. Like if you read the book, like the first chapter almost reads as a prologue, really. And but that originally that was all it was supposed to be. So it was almost kind of stream of consciousness writing that one. Like I came up with the ending with the pig, and he, you know, stabs. You know, he has a little pig sidekick, which was another character that kept popping up. It was the year of the pig, so there's a bunch of pigs online. I would just draw, and he was like on the opposite page of one of the drawings. I just thought these guys worked together. And he was like the annoying sidekick. And he's like talking the whole time. He gives like all the exposition for the audience to kind of get a grip of like what's going on, get their bearings, and then you have a fight scene, and then at the end he ends up killing and eating the pig just out of nowhere. And that's like that ends up being the part that everybody remembers from the book when they talk about it. And people are still upset with me about killing the pig. Like,
How could you?
yeah, he's a cute guy. I'm like, well, you know, it's the post-apocalypse. Like, you know,
That's where the story brought me.
where's he going to eat? Like, it's a meal. If he kills him before he eats him, it's going to go bad. But if he runs out of food, he's got him right there. And meanwhile, he can carry his stuff for him.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of, you know, the way
It's too pragmatic.
So, yeah. Yeah, so the first part was almost stream of consciousness, and once I came up with that ending, like it all kind of fell into place. And then I wanted to expand it to a full story because then I could have like a proper volume. I could sell it for, you know, too much money, and you know, actually like, you know, make it like a solid like thing. I could sell these forever. They could be on the shelf forever. And, you know, put in storage, put it wherever.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like that's the thing with floppies, right? Like they can kind of have like
they're very ephemeral and sort of you put in a box, you never see them again. Where if it's a proper volume, it's on your shelf, you see it, you walk by it, maybe you pull off, flip through it. You know, like I got like 4 long boxes, and I got big stacks of comics in my closet, and like I barely ever look at them. But if it's on my bookshelf, like I see it, I'll pull that off, flip through it, and maybe I'll read it.
It's so true.
Yeah,
it's true.
But yeah, so like it took me, I kind of molded over, and it was like I finished this was like October 2020 I drew the first volume of it, or 2020, and then May 2021 I came up with the story, and basically it was like, I remember it was like watching cartoons kayfabe. It was the review of Tim Truman's Scout, and that has they were talking about at the end, the scouts gotta go on a mission to kill these 4 demons in the desert. And I thought, oh, that's like that movie. That's like El Topo. That you ever see
I
El
haven't. No.
Topo? It is kind of a weird, psychedelic, surrealist movie from the early '70s. Alejandro Jodorowsky. You ever hear Jodorowsky's Dune? You see that
I have
documentary?
not. I gotta start writing this stuff down,
Um,
man.
yeah. So Alejandro Jodorowsky. Good luck trying to spell that. Just look up El Topo. He did 2 movies in the early '70s that I really like. They're kind of very strange, surrealist films. One's called El Topo. One was called Holy Mountain. And his follow-up was supposed to be an adaptation of the book
Okay.
Dune. And there's a documentary about it because the production, it never got past pre-production, but the whole thing was just this giant, insane thing. He had Mobius doing the storyboards. He was going to get Pink Floyd to do the soundtrack. He had H.R. Geiger before he did Aliens. He had doing more of the concept work. He had the guy who wrote Blade Runner doing the special effects because he worked with John Carpenter on his first Dark Star, I think it was called, his first film. And it was just this giant, massive thing. He's going to have Orson Welles play the villain. He's going to have Salvador Dali in the film. He's going to have David Carradine. It
Wow.
was just this, kept snowballing,
Yeah,
snowballing, and like by the time he went to the studio, it's like they looked at him. It's like, so you want us to make a 6-hour long sci-fi movie? This is before Star Wars, this is before any of those
Yeah.
films, and they're just like, no, no, and the whole thing fell apart. But a lot of the guys who worked on it, they went on to make Aliens. Like you see little, ripples of the
Yeah.
thing. And there's a very good documentary about it. It's very
Nice.
interesting. But his first movie was called, well, no, it wasn't his first movie, but El Topo is kind of the psychedelic, surrealist Western. There you go. That's
I
Dune
think
right
I've
there.
seen. Okay, I've seen that image around before.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good documentary. You should check that out. And you should watch, just to give like a primer who Alejandro Jodorowsky. If you go into El Topo cold, it's a very strange, very odd
Sure.
movie. But I love it. Basically, like the first half of it, it's a Western where this guy, he goes on a mission to kill the 4 gun masters of the West.
Mhm.
And I sort of stole the structure of it. So he goes and fights. My guy goes and fights and tries to kill the 4 architects of the apocalypse. That was basically the initial inspiration. Jumped off.
Nice.
And then I just built from there. So that's my process. It's a long-winded way of saying explain how
You just
I
kind of
wrote.
pull from whatever you're consuming here and there, right?
Yeah, it's like, well, I saw this movie back in college. My roommate was obsessed with it and showed it to
Nice.
me. It was kind of like a mind-blowing thing at the time. Drop acid a bunch of it. Or maybe yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's a very trippy movie, very odd movie. And he did a follow-up called Holy Mountain, which is just weird. And there's a lot of Holy Mountain and Tales to a Lion, actually. So it's kind of like worked out like as a kind of Pissah's almost a reaction to Tales to a Lion. Tales to a Lion became this snowballed into this giant over-the-top thing where it's like 300 pages and 150 pinups in the back of it, and it was just this big, massive. You see, it's like a big, massive tome. It's impossible to get across the border because it's so heavy
Yeah.
now. And I wanted to just strip everything down, just make everything as simple as possible, and just sort of like almost a rejection. Because then I get this format where it's like 2 panels on each page, and just really strip it down to pure storytelling. You don't need all the bells and whistles, all the crazy, big, multi-page, double-page spreads. You just need to tell the story. But kind of that, Pissah was kind of an exercise in that.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense with your process, right? Like, right,
Yeah.
if you're trying to do those double-page spreads piecemeal and that could, yeah, that you'd have a book out every 10 years at that rate. So.
Yeah, it'd be like
Yeah. Yeah, very true. I guess we know
Yeah.
how that turns out. Yeah.
yeah. I gotta keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, your style can carry.
I did like
so.
2 books in between that. And I actually revised it several times in the meantime. It was sort of this project I couldn't. work on it. I'd finish it, a draft of it. I'd put it aside because I get busy with something else, and then I'd come back and everything I'd drawn looked like shit by that point. So I gotta like rework it again. It's like a whole thing,
Nice.
right? It's finally out now.
That's awesome.
It's in print.
And then, so yeah, I guess how's it working with Fred? Then you sound like your process is just like, you kind of pull the inspiration as it comes, and now you're being kind of fed a story, I guess, right? So how's that?
Well, we kind of going back and forth about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of Fred will throw me a lot of ideas. He'll throw me a script, and then I'll try to like go through it, and like some of it needs to be kind of it'll work better if we do it this way, and we'll get it back and forth. We're actually kind of doing Marvel style.
Okay.
We go back and forth with the story and the script and everything, and we kind of like hatch out the beats. Like he'll throw me a bunch of ideas, and I'll be like, "We only got 24 pages in this thing, right? You got to edit this thing down and make it kind of tighter." And then once we get all the beats worked out, I'll thumbnail it all out, and he'll do the dialogue, and we kind of if I as we go through it, maybe I'll punch out some of the lines and stuff. So it's been really kind of Marvel style. Best way to describe how this new book's coming
Nice.
together.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more collaborative than your typical.
It is pretty collaborative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Tales to Enlighten was very collaborative too.
Sure.
But I was doing it's like I'm not doing the coloring in this new book, but I'm doing everything else, including the lettering.
Nice.
So it's like I can just how I'm used to working.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so if somebody threw you like full script style, would you chafe on that, or would you be? It depends.
It's like it'd be great if somebody like gave me a script and I had zero problems with it. It's just no notes, and I'm like, oh, this is a brilliant script. Let me illustrate.
Yeah.
I guess like fucking Electric Ant's kind of like that.
That's a good point.
Because that's just the short story basically. But I did at the same time I did kind of edit, move stuff around. I did punch up the ending and stuff.
Yeah.
So, even then.
Well, I think
the ego on me. Trying to improve Philip K. Dick's story.
Well, of course.
Well, I do love Philip K. Dick. I actually have been on kind of a kick re-listening to audiobooks by him. I went through like Ubik.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one I listened to. Valis. I listened to Valis.
Okay, yeah.
You ever read any Philip K. Dick?
Yeah, I'm drawing blanks now. Ubik was one. That was a while ago, though. And then, what was the one I just read?
Lecture Chief?
Yeah.
You want Blade Runner's
Blade Runner, yeah. Yeah, that was a long time ago, too. I'm trying to think of the one I just read. Oh, my goodness. I'm drawing a blank. I feel like I gotta look it up.
What's it about?
It's the
one where reality doesn't seem real?
Yeah, that's right. That one. That's the cop out. No, it's it's the detective one. So like half of them. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Blow My Tears, the policeman.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah, I read that one.
I like detective. It's like that's not right, and that's half of the books. Yep.
Yeah, it was like that one's like he's like a talk show host or something.
Yeah.
He's like a rich and famous person, but then he wakes up one day and nobody remembers him, nobody knows who he is, and he's in this horrible dystopian future where it's like it's basically what China is today, where you can't move through society without proper IDs and all this, and he's got to go through the process again, like fake IDs, and figure out why everybody forgot about him, even though he was a giant star and stuff.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, that one was the last one. That was a while ago too, but I didn't like it as much as I should have. I guess
Yeah, that's not one of my favorites personally. I like his best one. I think is maybe the Three Stigmatas of Palmer Eldritch.
I haven't read that. I need to check that out.
That's a very trippy, weird
Nice.
one. That's but it's a lot of fun, and just sort of it's maybe the most Philip K. Dick story,
Right on.
and it's a lot of his stories, like he was completely off his rocker on speed, just pounding these things out like pulp style.
Yep.
Just, like writing as fast as he possibly could, and just like barely even getting past this first draft.
Yep.
Right. but they still kind of hold together pretty well.
Well, it's like you were mentioning about your work, where there's an overarching
Yeah.
theme. That was his. Like it's
Yeah.
everything's this some kind of paranoia, right? Like the world is out to get you in some form or another. And it's just what's the flavor of that in this book, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you ever read.
I mean, once you got
Sorry, go ahead.
once you got up speed, like he gets a little bit more refined.
Yeah.
But he had that period. You know, you can kind of break down his career into like the different ex-wives he had. Like he's got the early short stories. He had his second wife, and then he had the first wife, who some people aren't even convinced it was real, but they broke up very early. And he had the second wife, where he did a lot of the short stories, and then his third wife was sort of kind of tied in with the New York literati kind of publishing world, and he sort of tried to get he kind of jumped from one wife to the next, trying to like trade up, I guess. And she had a successful husband before who ran like a magazine, who published like the Beat Poets, who were one of the first people to publish like Allen Ginsberg and Jack Kerouac and Burroughs and all that. And he kind of wanted to get into that scene. That was kind of like one of the things that attracted to him. And that's when he started writing novels, because it was like the 60s by then, the short stories and the pulp magazines were going away.
Yeah, you gotta be more literary, right?
Yeah, so he started writing these kind of books, and he wrote some traditional novels that didn't have any sci-fi stuff in it, but like a lot of his, like Man in the High Castle came out of that period. Three Stigmas of Palmer Elmridge, Ubik, or no, I think Ubik may have been his third wife. But yeah, and then they broke up, and then he got this next wife, and that's when he wrote Do Androids Dream, Electric Sheep, and maybe Ubik, I think was that period, and sort of that. And then that fell apart, and he had like all suicide attempts and drug overdose. His life fell apart, and he got sober and married his fourth wife. And that's when he had like kind of this, started getting really crazy. He started getting like psychic visions from like, he thought he like saw God or something through like a pink beam down through a satellite or whatever it was, and that ended up becoming ballast and all this. Yeah. So he kind of break down the periods of his life from that. You can kind of see that there's different themes and there's different vibes to each period, and you kind of, because there's a lot of himself in all the books. Like all his protagonists are kind of like schlubby dudes, like he was, and sort of like kind of losers with like a bunch of ex-wives.
Yeah.
Always owing a bunch of child support, always broke and like destitute and sort of on his luck. But it turns out he's the secret to the whole universe. And,
write what you know, but also
exactly.
The narcissism slips through, right?
Well, creative people, that's how it goes.
You have to be a narcissist to do anything like this, right?
Yeah, to think anybody cares about what you
exactly.
draw, or I guess we should do this.
Yeah.
So we're talking about my creative process. Very long. We got to rescue. Who are we going to rescue?
Yeah. How quick can we whip one together? Let's see.
Yeah. Who are we going to rescue?
Do we rescue Bluey from the apocalypse?
Well, let me draw. I can't draw. I'm not good at drawing Bluey. Let's do something else.
Do we go with the Philip K. Dick theme? Is it?
Yeah, let's go with Philip K. Dick.
Do we?
It would do. Who's he going to rescue? Where's the eraser here?
I think, Roberto, what were you saying?
Big.
Rescue him from his ex-wives?
Yeah, maybe. He needed it.